These people live with some of the rarest allergies in the world.
I have an allergy to water.
I'm allergic to myself.
I'm allergic to my hair growing, so when it does start to grow, it blisters and it burns, and it's absolute agony.
Their rare conditions have caused some startling reactions.
I've had 43 skin cancer surgeries.
Since my very first anaphylactic reaction, I've used over 250 EpiPens.
I literally had to run down the stairs because I could just hear you screaming.
And forced them to live their lives differently.
Why does that girl have a bag on her head?
Every time I would wake up and I would see that it was raining, I had panic attacks.
I live off of oats and baby formula to survive my allergies.
But just because they live with these incredibly rare allergies doesn't mean they let that get in the way of them living their lives.
People always ask me, well, how does it work if you're a gymnast that's allergic to exercise?
The sun's rays, so often a symbol of health and happiness. But for one young woman in this quiet town, they are nothing short of deadly.
If UV rays touches my skin, I burn really bad and then I develop skin cancer. I've had 43 skin cancer surgeries. So my elective surgery was on Tuesday, and they found a different type of squamous cell carcinoma where it grows really fast, and it was like about maybe that big. Well, they numb it and then they slice it and then they stitched it up.
Lizzie was born with a rare condition called xeroderma pigmentosum, or XP. Her skin is unable to repair its own DNA once it's been damaged by the sun's harmful UV rays. At home, all the windows have been lined with protective filters. But it's the outside that presents the biggest danger.
Okay, we're getting ready now. Every day she's got to put on this sunscreen.
For Lizzie, leaving the house is a huge ordeal. Even the tiniest gap in her clothing could allow the UV rays through and prove catastrophic.
Jeans are the best that have the tightest weave, and so she's got her jeans on. She's got her gloves. She likes those that she can text with, of course.
Yep.
And this meter shows the amount of ultraviolet rays. Of course, inside it's at 0, but outside it turns to like 1600. Lizzie is supposed to be under 10.
Lizzie's mum had noticed the signs of XP years before they were able to get a diagnosis and give it a name.
When she was 6 weeks old, about 30 minutes in the park, and we came home. The next morning, her eyes were swollen shut, her face was red, and, we rushed to the doctor. Unfortunately, XP is so rare that a lot of doctors don't know about it, and so he just thought, oh, well, I guess she just got a little too much sun.
Which meant for years after, Lizzie and her family were completely unaware she had a potentially fatal disorder.
She lived a very normal life, except for all her burning. The sunburns that she would get would make her skin look pretty bad. She tops it all off with this hood. So, on her hood, and so she's covered head to toe and ready to go outside. Oh, don't forget your meter.
It wasn't until Lizzie was 12 that a local doctor shed light on her condition.
I found 2 sores on my face that would not go away. So I went to a dermatologist and they said, oh, that's cancer.
Remarkably, the doctor happened to be one of the few XP experts in the world.
I had actually seen a lot of cases of XP, so I, of course, thought of that first thing when I saw Lizzie, whereas I think someone who had not had that perspective probably wouldn't even have suspected it. The dangers of XP include the development of multiple skin cancers and other problems such as neurological problems and developmental problems.
The diagnosis completely changed the way that Lizzie had to live her life.
Do you have your meter, Lizzie? Yeah. Okay. On a typical cloudy day, the meter runs about, hey, 300 to 400, but on a super sunny day, it runs 1600. It goes on and off. Let me see that. This is.
So it's reading 400 right now, and now when it says hot, it's only in 10 or 9. So it does really hum. So I feel actually pretty safe. In the very beginning, I felt sad, and I said, please don't stare at me. I'm just a normal person. I felt kind of sad, upset. I still get remarks from people saying, why does that girl have a bag on her head? Are you a space mutant? Hey, are you a beekeeper? Are you from outer space? So I explained to them what it is, because I want people to have a knowledge of XP.
Lizzie is a real champion, I think, when it comes to her diagnosis with XP. She really is upbeat about it.
I think I am positive because I have a great big family. I have 5 brothers, I have 2 sisters, 20 nieces and nephews.
XP in the US affects 1 in 1 million people. What's rarer still is having 2 instances of it in the same family.
My niece has XP. She's 7.
When my daughter was first diagnosed with XP, she was just 1 year old. She had a really bad sunburn, and we took her to a doctor who recognized it, thanks to my sister. Even with having XP in the family, we were still shocked. I'm really grateful for my sister, Lizzie, and the example she's been to my daughter, and she's kind of a hero to her.
And Lizzie's niece isn't her only fan.
She is really outgoing, and she just loves everyone that she meets.
So I could pretty much walk to anyone and they're saying, oh, Lizzie, I want to be your friend. You're so fun to be around.
She doesn't let her XP control her.
She's just the funniest girl I've ever met.
She just loves life.
A message that I would like to share with people. Just know that you are here on Earth, and just be happy, make new friends, and have a positive attitude no matter what you deal with.
Is that nice? Yeah, yummy. What do you want now? Raspberry. I've always wanted to be a mother, so when I did fall pregnant, it was just the most amazing thing.
Sherelle has one of the rarest conditions in the world.
I really actually enjoyed being pregnant as well. Oh, good girl. Well done. The minute Willow was born, I know it's very cliche to say, but just the love that I felt for her was just like nothing I've just ever felt in my life. Where's Willow's nose? Where's Willow's hair? Where's Willow's ears? It's just still mind-blowing even now, even 18 months later. The condition I have is aquagenic urticaria, which is a bit of a mouthful. I couldn't say it for ages.
Aquagenic urticaria is a rare condition where hives develop on the skin after it comes into contact with water.
There are very few cases in the world. In medical literature, there's only about 30 cases worldwide. In there? Another one? Up until I had my daughter, I had no issues with water at all. Had 3 baths a day. I was obsessed with baths, went swimming, did all of the normal things, and then gave birth to my daughter and had a really, really traumatic birth. Literally the first bath after I had Willow broke out in this awful rash. When I touch water, I will itch for a while. Physically, it's quite painful. It's very itchy. It's kind of like stingy nettles, and it's just a prickly feeling, and then it's just a full-blown rash. I'm mostly affected just above my belly button. It's mostly my stomach, my shoulders, my back. I sometimes, occasionally, will get it on my face as well if I'm having a particularly nasty reaction.
But water isn't something that can be completely avoided. So Sherelle has had to learn how to live with the reactions it causes.
A lot of people have said to me, how do you clean yourself? You know, you must smell, and all of these silly comments. I usually shower in the morning, and the reason why I do that is because I get it sort of done. I can kind of have my breakfast then and distract myself whilst the reaction is happening. A lot of people who do have showers for 10-15 minutes, you're sort of just there enjoying the water. So for me, I don't have that time, but I just have the time to clean really fast. I did a lot of swimming when I was pregnant, and I always had this idea that I was going to take Willow swimming, and that was just going to be a thing I was going to do. And I was even looking at all these mother and baby classes I was going to go to, and then obviously when I developed this allergy and I couldn't, I was really upset. Here she is, finally. Hello! Did you have a late night last night, missus? Did you? So Lucy, she's really, really good with Willow. She's over like every day, so it's really great for me because I have somebody who can do these kind of things with her. It's horrendous outside. Oh. It's blowing a gale, it's chucking it down with rain. Is it? Living in Wales, it's very rainy, and you can't get away from it. Every time I would wake up and I would see that it was raining, I had panic attacks. I'll have to just run.
Having friends who can step in and do water-based activities with her daughter doesn't stop the sting of being left out.
Missing out on these things like bathing and going swimming, it does make me upset sometimes. If I did decide to go swimming with Willow, it could potentially be very dangerous for me because I could go into anaphylactic shock. That for me is a very scary thing, just not knowing. I think in time I just sort of realised that swimming is just something I can't do with Willow. There are plenty of other things that I can do with her. Having my friends to help me is a massive, massive help, and I'm so grateful for it.
We try and see each other as much as we can, and Willow's always in tow, which is lush because she's the cutest.
It's just nice to have somebody that I can say, hey, can we go and do this? And I've got that support there.
Remember that one time where I lost my leg?
I think without that, life would definitely be a lot harder for me. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I think it's really important to talk about the condition I have because it's such a rare thing, and for me I feel like if we all get talking about it, you know, hopefully doctors will know more. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I have a rare condition called aquagenic urticaria. Surprisingly, quite a few people followed me and we've been sharing stories, and a lot of people message me on that page and they'll say, you know, this page is really great for me, and we just chat all the time about our reactions. It's weird having a rare condition. I never really thought I'd be the type of person to have one of these crazy things that you see on the TV or the news. The frog in green. Now I've kind of embraced it for what it is. I'm learning more about it every day, and almost in a weird way now, I'm quite proud of being a little bit different. I know it's very cliche to say, but she is my world, and she's my very best friend, and we have so much fun together. She's like my little mini me, aren't you? You're what I always wanted, aren't you? Yeah. I think even with the allergy, the future is positive just because I have her. Yeah. Seeing her smile every day just pulls on my heartstrings, don't you, Willow? And she is literally the reason I live, which is very dramatic to say, but it's true. Give your paw. Good boy. Other paw. Good boy. Good boy!
Natasha has a rare disorder that has made her allergic to everything, including her own tears. But she didn't start out this way. The condition began with a simple food allergy.
Good boy!
Towards the end of 2012, I started getting allergic reactions to fruit. So when I ate an apple, my lips would blister a little bit and feel a bit itchy. First it was apples, then it was strawberries, then it was tomatoes. So I went to see my doctor and was sent to an allergist, and they said it was oral allergy syndrome and to carry an EpiPen just in case, because there's an ever so slight risk of a huge reaction. And then about 6 months after that, I was just out one day with friends at an event. I hadn't eaten anything new, I hadn't drunk anything new, and I suddenly felt really unwell. The next thing I know, I'm being injected with things, and they're putting oxygen masks on my face, and then I lost consciousness. And they told me I'd had a life-threatening anaphylactic reaction. They said it was probably a fluke thing, this sometimes happens. Don't worry about it too much, you've got EpiPens if you do, but it's unlikely it'll happen again. Since my very first anaphylactic reaction, I've used over 250 EpiPens.
After years of suffering from continuous allergic reactions, 22-year-old Natasha was finally diagnosed with mast cell activation syndrome.
The cells in my body called mast cells are responsible for releasing things such as histamines. My body, the cells react inappropriately, so if there is an attack, it releases chemicals, but it releases too many, or sometimes it releases chemicals when there's no trigger at all, so I have completely spontaneous reactions. Reactions can vary. They can be anything from just feeling under the weather, itchy, very tired, or they can be life-threatening, like tongue and throat swelling. I have pictures from reactions because I don't really remember them very well, so it helps piece things together for me. So this was my very first intensive care admission in 2014 when I'd ended up being transferred to ICU for the first time. And it seems really strange looking at myself with hair now because I'm so used to not having hair. I'm allergic to my hair growing, so when it does start to grow, it blisters and it burns, and it's absolute agony, so I'd rather just keep it short and have no hair and be pain-free than suffer for a little bit of hair. I just kind of have to make the bored girl look work, really. I don't have much choice. The mast cell activation syndrome is an incredibly difficult condition to live with, and it can be very hard to cope with. Pretty much anything can impact this condition, and sometimes my body's okay with it and other times it has a complete meltdown over the slightest things. I'm not able to do most things most 22-year-olds do. I can't drink alcohol, I can't even tolerate it on my skin.
We tend to only cook things that she's safe with. We limit the food that my husband and I have. Obviously try and clean them as much as possible to reduce the pollen in the house. I think mainly using antibacterial wipes and sprays, making sure all surfaces are cleaned down, especially with having the dogs as well.
The acute nature of Natasha's condition has been a lot for her family to come to terms with.
When Natasha's in hospital and she's had a severe reaction, it's very distressing to see her, but I don't want her to see my distress or upset because I don't want her to feel worried about me. You want to walk away and not experience it, but obviously you have to stay. It is distressing.
Despite her daily battles with her allergies, this has not stopped Natasha from pursuing her passion for gymnastics.
I've done gymnastics since the age of 8, just recreationally, and when I developed this condition I wasn't able to keep up with mainstream gymnastics. Switching to disability allows me to compete and I can train at my own rate rather than pushing myself.
I think what I admire most about Natasha is her positivity. I think it's her personality that gets her through everything because she's just a really bubbly personality and really positive.
In the gym there are quite a lot of barriers because other girls wear aerosol body sprays and there's chalk and there can be dust around. When I exercise, because of the way the mast cells affect my brain, I lose the feeling from my elbows down and my knees down, so when I'm stood on the beam I can't feel where my feet are, I can only look at the beam to know where they are. But I'm quite persistent and I'm quite stubborn and I love gymnastics so much, and I think because I have that passion, that's what gets me through the tough days to then be able to go out and compete and show people that disabled people can actually do things.
I admire her determination and her ability to laugh about everything, no matter how serious it is. I really don't know where she gets her strength from, but I think she likes to inspire people if she can, to say to them, you can achieve things if you try.
These are the British medals, and then when I get a gold I also get a trophy. That's the UK #1 trophy, which I've won for the last 3 years. And this is my Pride of Sport trophy. In 2015 I was named the Disabled Sportsperson of the Year, which just feels amazing to be recognised as a disabled athlete nationally, not just locally.
I've always supported Tasha doing her gymnastics because it's something she's always loved and been passionate about.
People always ask me, well, how does it work if you're a gymnast that's allergic to exercise? And I think that's kind of the point. It doesn't really work, which is why it's so difficult to train and work around it, and it's a huge barrier. But you know, with the support of my friends, family and coaches, we work through it as best as we can. I mean, I'm never going to be the world's greatest gymnast, but as long as I enjoy it and I can keep doing what I'm doing, then I'm happy.
Morning. Thank you.
How's my skin looking?
Better.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll get some pictures.
Yeah.
That way. So I'm checking Beth's skin for like anything that's like actively weeping, making sure nothing's open and actively bleeding as well.
I'm allergic to pretty much everything that comes into contact with me. I can come up in hives from something simple, or I could come up in hives just from something that I've never had a reaction before. Doctors have never seen anything like my conditions before. They call me a medical mystery. When the flare-ups happen, there's not really much I can do to treat it. Unfortunately, I've tried so many different things and nothing really helps.
For Beth, her allergies didn't make themselves known until she was in her mid-teens.
I woke up one morning when I was 15 years old with a slight rash on my face, and then from there, it never went away and it kept coming back. My own emotions, getting too stressed can cause me to have reactions. Products, my body can decide one day it doesn't want to use the same shower gel I've been using for years. I also react a lot to foods, and that's one of my biggest things that affect me. I have massive allergic reactions that can lead to anaphylaxis.
Okay.
Yeah. I pretty much eat the same thing every day.
Bacon roll.
Bacon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll do bacon roll.
Yeah. The most severe food that I react to is chili and paprika. It could just be from the smell of walking past a restaurant. It can also be in foods that I've cooked in my own home, which can be more life-threatening because I have no escape. If you were to fry onions around me, fry mushrooms, if you do something that creates a very strong smell in the atmosphere, that triggers me.
I was a bit shocked at first, like I didn't understand how all of this could be an allergy and the way it reacts to her.
When I first started dating Sasha, I kind of expected to just go a separate way because she didn't want to manage it. I knew my health would affect the relationship massively because it changes her life as well as mine.
I don't even think it was a big sacrifice to get rid of all of the foods that Beth couldn't be around. And I reassured her, like, I'll help you through this, I want to be by your side. And I'm not going to leave just because of your health.
Since being with Beth, Sasha has become her full-time carer, helping her with everything she does, from morning until night.
She has to help me prepare food because I will be so scared that that food has come into cross-contamination with something and could affect me or send me into anaphylaxis. I have EpiPens in every room of the house. Sasha usually knows where they are. She does everything, and as much as I will try and help her out, she refuses to let me help do some stuff because if I push myself, she knows that will lead to a flare-up. This was the worst it had ever been. I was screaming. I couldn't control myself.
Yeah, I remember I literally had to run down the stairs because I could just hear you screaming, and then when I walked in, the redness was like spread all over her cheeks and you was just excruciating pain.
Takes your mind somewhere else. I know it's hurting, but just try.
I think the only way I can describe it is like having acid thrown in your face. It burns all the time. It's burning right now. When it is at its worst, I can barely get out of bed.
It breaks my heart because she's in so much pain and there is literally nothing I can do other than hold her hand and reassure her that once the pain stops, like, that's the start of the healing process.
Making such a big commitment to Beth, Sasha's mum wasn't always supportive of their relationship.
How are you?
I'm okay.
You know the drill.
Having people come into my house, just free will, doesn't happen. Because if they walk in with a really strong perfume or a scent on them from previous food they've eaten, that could even trigger an anaphylaxis just from that. So when they come in, I will usually ask them to sanitise the stuff they've got, check their bag, sanitise their hands. Here we go. Thank you. Thank you. Do you want to come in for coffee?
Love a coffee, thank you.
When I first started dating Sasha told me her mum had doubts. She didn't want her to be isolated. She didn't want her to miss out on much. I completely understood that.
I remember when you first brought up all of the concerns and how you thought and perceived Beth's life. I was very defensive and I took the protective side.
To be honest, I was resentful with you at first because I thought I didn't get to see Sasha. I really did feel at the very beginning that Sasha was taking on too much.
Yeah, I definitely do have that guilt, and that's always in the back of my mind that I feel like I've made Sasha miss out on so much of her life. I still think to this day that she does too much for me. She does. But I wouldn't be where I am right now without her, because I would be so lost.
I don't see why you should feel guilty, because I know eventually all the stuff that, yeah, I might have missed out on, we'll eventually do that in our own time, and being able to spend it with you is just better than being on my own.
Seeing what you go through and knowing you for so long now, it's now Sasha's happy, and as long as Sasha's happy, I'm happy. They may be like chalk and cheese, but they work. So I'm just glad that they found each other. Mwah. See you later, babe.
Preparing to go out has become difficult for Beth due to the nature of her allergies.
Right, EpiPen bag. When I leave the house, I have to set a lot of precautions. I will never really go somewhere I don't know without planning it first. In this bag is my emergency bag, what we call it. It's got my EpiPens in, my nose spray and my eye drops. I then have a spare t-shirt just because my body can go through extreme temperature change, and at one point I could be sweating so much I could pass out, so I will need to change clothes.
I just always have to be on edge. When we're out, I have to have eyes in the back of my head almost to make sure the people around us aren't eating. And if they are eating, that it's safe food that Beth can be near. If not, I have to make sure that we can move somewhere safe.
Is it okay?
Yeah, well, a slight smell, but it should be okay. Just shallow breathe.
Sasha's love and support means everything to me. It does. She completely changed my life. She completely changed the way I saw my health and I saw my skin. She made me feel beautiful, and I wouldn't have even posted my first TikTok about my page if it wasn't for her. I realised this is actually what I want to do and this is where I want to go. I'm so restricted with my life, but turning to social media and being able to get to know people through that way, it made me so much happier, and I've made friends for life now, and I hope one day that I'll be able to meet them properly.
What I love the most about Beth is how strong she really is. The way she fights through every day is inspiring. I love you. I love you.
I hope that people learn and take away from my story that you're perfectly imperfect the way you are. Don't shy away. I want people to know that it's okay to be different and it's okay to be unique. This is my life now. I wouldn't change it for the world because I wouldn't have met Sasha. I wouldn't be doing the things I am now. I didn't think that I would ever be somewhere where I felt confident going out with my skin flared. I'm extremely proud. I didn't think I'd be where I am now.
Hi everybody, we are making a brand new recipe with oats and hypoallergenic formula.
In order to survive her rare allergy, Caroline has had to learn to live off a restricted diet of just 2 ingredients.
I live off of oats and baby formula to survive my allergies. All right, so I got my medications for the day, which it's a pretty intense cocktail. I'm Caroline. I live off of hypoallergenic formula and oats in order to avoid allergic reactions. These are mast cell stabilizers. MCAS is mast cell activation syndrome. It is basically an allergic disease in which the patient can have serious allergic reactions to a whole host of things. For me, my biggest triggers are food, pets, and pollen. This one keeps my airways open, all of that good stuff. I've had severe food allergies since the ripe age of 2 years old. At the time, I wasn't allergic to anything. All of a sudden I went into anaphylaxis. My parents rushed me to the hospital, and then I didn't have any more allergic reactions until I was 18 years old. I ate ice cream that was cross-contaminated with nuts, and all of a sudden I went into anaphylaxis, and instead of my body just recovering, I kept on going into anaphylaxis. So I was having allergic reactions to all these safe foods that I was eating for years and years and years. And my list of safe foods kept on getting smaller and smaller and smaller until I was literally just down to oats. So one of the doctors came up with the idea of trying hypoallergenic baby formula. So that's been about 5 years now. Hi everybody, we're making scrambled oats. It's kind of amazing how much you can make with just 2 foods. I used to get so bored of just eating these 2 foods. Like I would literally just heat the oats up with boiled water and then I'd add a bit of formula. But ever since posting about it on TikTok, like you guys have come up with so many good recipes.
This is so good.
I first started posting on social media about my condition a couple months ago. It seems like I've ended up raising awareness for mast cell activation syndrome, which is really cool because I didn't even know what it was when I was first diagnosed with it.
Morning, honey. Hi, mommy.
My mom is the most supportive and loving person I've ever known.
That looks pretty good.
Yeah, I think so too. These kind of smell like eggs.
The very scariest moment that we had was when you were hospitalized and you then went into anaphylaxis right in front of all the doctors right there. And she was in ICU for several days. That was literally terrifying. But it's improved a ton, obviously. It's nice that she can now make things that are similar to ours. So many things in life are based around meals and dinners with family and holidays and things like that. Everybody is really willing to make it work.
I have different dinnerware than my family because this helps keep my food separate and there's no risk for cross-contamination. It's cuter than yours, so.
I agree.
Because of the incredibly rare nature of her allergies, people have struggled to believe it and have often turned nasty online.
I've seen multiple comments on my TikTok of people accusing me of faking my illness. Somebody said, "You're not allergic to food, you're just allergic to a lack of attention." If you can only eat 2 foods, why aren't you thin then? The hypoallergenic formula has everything I need to survive. In order to hit my daily intake amounts, calories, nutrients, vitamins, I try to eat 5 cans a week. The girl's gotta eat. There are a lot of holistic practices that have helped people with mast cell activation find relief. It helps tune in to my body and helps me understand that everything that I feel doesn't mean it's a symptom. Anytime I leave the house, I take several precautions to make sure I keep my symptoms at bay and I don't flare up my immune issues. Got my emergency meds, my EpiPens. I never, ever, ever go into somebody's house or apartment or car if they have a pet dog or cat or if they eat my severe allergens, because just breathing in those allergens can ruin the next several weeks for me. You could argue that it would be a better, safer move for me to literally just never leave the house, but I don't think that is conducive to a high quality of life. So I do choose to go outside every day because I feel like it helps desensitize my mast cells to pollen and other allergens. I feel really safe when you're by my side. Like, I would consider you my emotional support human.
I'm honored. I'm so proud of Caroline, the way that she's handled all of the last several years, her determination to be happy and stay happy. We've been walking for a bit. How are you feeling?
I'm pretty tired. I'm pretty brain fogged.
Want to take a little break?
Yeah, that'd be good.
But mast cell activation syndrome isn't the only condition Caroline has to live with.
Dysautonomia is an autonomic immune system issue. What that means for me is I have a ton of nerve damage. If I stand up or walk for more than about 20 minutes, I'll start to experience a lot of dizziness, lightheadedness. There's no way we can really prove that the mast cell activation caused the dysautonomia, but I got sick with mast cell activation syndrome in September of 2017, and then I got diagnosed with dysautonomia in August of 2018. When I was really sick with dysautonomia, I was actually in a wheelchair for a while. So it's a miracle that I'm able to go on a walk down the street with my mom. Hi! Woo! Socializing looks very different for me. I try to get creative and think of other things I can do that don't revolve around food. So that might be going to an art museum or going on a walk or having my friends over for a paint night.
So when we first met Caroline, it was before, I would say, her most recent really major reaction.
It was our sophomore year, middle of the year in college, and at that time we were able to all sit together at the dining hall.
My friends are incredibly supportive, and I really thank my lucky stars every day for them, because every single friend that I've had before I got sick, they're still my friends now. Did you guys have lunch yet?
No, not yet.
Okay, amazing, because I have an idea. I was thinking we could have lunch together.
Okay.
Close your eyes. Chef it up. All right. And open. Whoa! And formula ice cream.
Okay. Dig in. It's actually like pretty good.
Yay! You're not just saying that to be nice.
No, like I'm actually surprised.
When people see my story, I hope that they are inspired to a degree to be grateful for what they do have and be grateful for all the things that their body does correctly. I've had some tough moments and low points with this disease, but overall, I'm so proud of myself for the way that I've come out on top of it. And I hope that it maybe inspires others to stay strong, keep pushing through, finding the silver linings, finding the good stuff in life.
If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, share, and let us know in the comments.